congratulations for today. Tell us something about yourself, how you, what are you doing currently, how did you come up to this job, and how your day looks like?
Hello Shweta, thank you so much. First of all, I'd like to thank the Aegis family for giving me this opportunity. I'm really excited that I've completed my graduation from Aegis. About myself, well, I started off with my BTech degree. I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and I followed that up with working in for a couple of years in sales. Technical sales, we used to sell machines. I followed that with 3 years of working as a process analyst in an insurance company. So that's where a lot of work, I came across tools like Excel and building dashboards, understanding data. That was my first exposure to data. I gained an industry experience of 5 years, and that's when I kind of realized that I need a new challenge. I need to upskill myself. And I saw, reading the news articles and the current trends, I had heard about data, AI, and even friends I knew worked in this field. So I thought it was time, in the year 2020, I was like, it's time now to make a transition. So I joined the 2021 batch at Aegis and did the post-graduation program in data science and business analytics. And back then it was a big risk. So 11 months after joining the course, here I am, currently placed at DBRS Morningstar here in Vashi, and I work as an analyst in the credit ratings team.
How are you using the skills that you have learned in this 11 months? How are you using in your current profile?
Okay, so Aegis provided me with a number of skills, exposure to a number of different tools. Like my favorites were the visualization tools like Power BI, Tableau. The complex tools for me, languages were Python and SQL. Initially, they were a bit tough, because I came from a non-tech background. But then slowly, as I got an understanding, I was able to learn more and even apply and build tools of my own. So in my company right now here, I'm mostly using Python and Tableau and Power BI in my company. So if I have to give weightage to the subjects, I'd say it's 70% Tableau and 30% of Power BI.
Describe the situation where you had to collaborate with cross-functional teams or stakeholders to deliver a successful project. And so during that time, how did you ensure that you are relevant and effective and you're aligned with the topic?
So I could give you an example of a recent project I just completed in my team. So this was a Python migration project where related to S3 buckets. We had an existing S3 bucket for the company, and the company was transferring the S3 buckets to its original domain. So we had to shift the data which was in the initial S3 buckets to the new S3 account which we had created. So the existing Python codes had to be restructured in such a way that the data would be extracted from various resources, and instead of going to the previous S3 account location, we had to migrate them into the new S3 account. So the basics of Python which I had learned here, also a lot of Python which I had to learn by myself and upgrade, because there is Python for data analytics which is taught in Aegis. There's also Python for developers, Python for coders, advanced Python as well. So I had to read about these stuff, ask my peers where I was going wrong, and under their guidance I was able to fulfill this project. Also, when you ask for the I had the opportunity to work with the data engineering team. Now I am a data analyst. I was hired as an analyst, but the role for the 2 months I was working with the data engineering team. I understood how they functioned, what sprints were, the terminologies they used, and it was a really good experience for me. We completed that project, and now I'm transferred back into my team.
From your experience in the field of data science, analytics, and your current domain, what are the most sought after skills that companies are looking for?
That's a good question. So I could give you an answer based on the industry I'm working in. So currently I'm working in the finance industry. So in the finance industry, it is very important that you have product knowledge, followed by, along with the product knowledge, you would say Python is a very important skill, because majority of the tools used in the finance industry are Excel-based tools, are macros which do heavy calculations. So, but doing heavy calculations on an Excel file is time consuming. You may get the results, but it takes a lot of time. So now these financial companies are switching to convert that Excel-based tools to Python, getting the same jobs done with Python. So currently I'm working on a number of Python migration projects within my company. So this is one thing I would say that skills required which one should focus on is Python. And another transition our company is making is into the data visualization aspect. So because being able to interpret data, understand the data you have, and then visualize it and use that data so that you can share it with your stakeholders and they can make better decisions. So as far as my experience considers, I would recommend say go for Python and data visualization tools. I do not have much exposure in ML and AI as of now, but in future, let's see.
How these projects that you have worked on in your 11 months or the skills that you have gained, how it has helped in your current job?
So I worked on a number of projects at Aegis, and my projects tend to be different from the others. So one favorite memory of mine was I had a project which was based on football. So it was a data visualization project, and it was early days when I was learning Python, visualization using Python. So with the least amount of knowledge I had in Python, I was able to present a project on my favorite topic. I had complete domain knowledge, so I did a comparison of the Ballon d'Or winners, and I had proved why Ronaldo deserved to win the award and not Messi. So with data analysis, I was able to catch a trendy topic and show it with visualizations of the results of the highest goal scorers, the number of assists, with charts and diagrams, all coded, and simple code, nothing complex. But I was able to prove my point. This simple project was well received by my teacher and students as well, and that's when it clicked me. I do not have to build something really complex. I can build something really simple, and I can only build this if I know my domain, if I know what problem I'm about to solve, what I'm about to establish. So that's when it clicked. I do not have to not necessarily know the really complex stuff of Python. Maybe just know what I want to achieve and see what is the best or easiest way to get there. So this is the approach I learned at Aegis, where in my early days, I don't know, you may call it luck, and I started applying it wherever I've gone, and even in this company. So I don't I don't freak out or get scared when I see other developers or other using complex code. What I do is, okay, what is he doing? What is his end goal? And I try to figure out what is he using. If I'm able to understand what he is using, then either I do it by myself or I will find someone to help me get it done. Because the objective is to reach the end goal. It doesn't matter how you've gotten there.
So Lendl, that brings me to the next question, that how your day-to-day job or your day looks like in Morningstar.
Oh, okay. So I've completed almost 8 months in Morningstar. So in the last 8 months, I've been shifted in a lot of different departments. So I initially started off learning the US residential mortgage-backed securities, so US RMBS, understanding the product. So I was like, I'm a tech guy. Why are they giving me financial work? Give me some tech work, because it's like riding a bike. If you don't ride a bike, your chain gets rusted, So I'm like, my tech skills aren't getting used. So for 3 months, I'm learning the finance domain. While learning it, I was like, it is necessary for me to understand the product, because only if I know the product, then I'll be able to apply my skills. I spent 3 months learning the product. Once I had a brief understanding, they're like, okay, now you have understood, let's switch to our smart surveillance project. This project was Tableau based, where we are trying to inculcate Tableau throughout and at an org level. That project took off, and now they have put me in another asset class. So I had a conversation with my manager, and I'm like, what is happening? You're teaching me different stuff. And in my question only to him, I got my answer. I'm asking him, why are you teaching me different stuff and not keeping me in one particular place? He's looking at me, why shouldn't I teach you different stuff? He's like, the more I teach you, the more you will be able to solve. I was like, yes, makes sense. And I looked back and I'm like, it's only 8 months in this industry. I do not have formal training in finance. And this company is giving me an opportunity to learn finance as well as a platform to apply my skills. So I was like, why not make the most of it? So my day-to-day would be, it's not fixed, It's like every time I go to work, I'm like, okay, is there something new which I'll be working on? Because every couple of months, I'm learning something new. So that is the exciting part. Sometimes you feel like, am I a floater? Does my company need me? But then you realize, wait, you're fresh, you're new. Let your company, you're there for a reason. Let your company decide how they want to utilize you.
Again, now that you are 8 months with Morningstar and with so diverse of skills that you almost learn every day something new, where do you see yourself 10 years down the line?
Okay, so 10 years down the line, I really hope I have a company of my own. Like when I said back then, I had sales experience. So I did sales because I wanted to learn how to sell. Because before in my engineering, I had a startup of my own which delivered groceries at your door back in 2016. It failed miserably, but that learning experience is what I'm very logical. So I failed in my first startup, so I realized if I have to have one of my own, I need to learn how to sell. So I did 2 years in sales. I did sales, and during sales I learned, okay, sales is not just selling your product or knowing your product, it's understanding people, it's getting over rejection, it's being able to speak and tell your story better. That's what I learned from sales. I'm like, okay, now I've done sales, what next? I need, discipline, I need a corporate experience. So I worked as an analyst. And now I came across data science. Then I did data science, I'm like, okay, this is getting exciting. In data science, I was like, this field is growing. Because if you look at AI, like all the AI has become a buzzword now. Everyone's using AI, big tech, big data. One thing I realized is a lot of big companies, the Fortune 500 companies, are able to afford the infrastructure for AI. And these services are only being used by the big companies. So this was, I could say, potentially my second startup idea, but it's an idea and I really want to implement. I'm not sure if I should give it away, but let's see. If it
Should pursue it, I'm sure.
So my this idea I got while working on my capstone project. So our capstone project, we got a live industry project where we were helping do the business analysis. We were doing the sales forecasting and data visualization of a tea and coffee manufacturing machine, tea powder. While working for that company, I realized if I can provide value to this company by doing their data analysis, why can't I provide the same structure to other small scale industries? Because I know, for one thing we know, because data, the AI infrastructure can be afforded by big companies only and not small companies. So if you ask me 10 years down the line, I really hope that I've worked on what I've said and I have a company of my own. Not of my own, as in I'll be with someone, growing together as a family, growing with people, learning. I hope I find the right mentors, meet the right people, so I'm able to execute this and in the process learn the right skills.
Any career mantra or word of wisdom that you would like to share with your colleagues or your aspiring data scientists?
So career mantra, as in, so I'm still young, as in I'm 29 years young, I'm still learning. I do have like close to 6 years of experience, but that still isn't a lot, you know. So if I have to break it down, like what was mentioned during one of the speech, my friend mentioned, like he learned it from me. He said that go add value wherever you go. This is something I picked up in sales. If I'm selling you a product, not necessarily I'll sell you only my product. Club with this, what Bhupesh sir taught us is be a problem solver. So add value, and how will you add value? By solving a problem. And if you have a business, your business shouldn't sell products. Your business should solve problems. If your business is solving problems, people will pay money for you to solve problems, and indirectly you're adding value to the world. So this is the mantra I'm basing my life on, this is a tagline. If I like. I understand like personal branding is necessary, so if I have to have a personal brand of my own, I'd say if you want a tagline, it's a bit cheesy. So my tagline is fail, learn, educate and inspire. So right now I'm in the trying new stuff and failing process and learning. So I'm in phase 1 and 2. The educating and inspiring aspect will come maybe 10 years down the line when I have become something.
Have your own,
Possibly.
become an entrepreneur.
Hopefully.
Good luck, and it was lovely talking to you, and we wish really all the best for your future projects.
Thank you so much for that. It was really nice talking to you.